Okay, what's up, guys? Mr. Hampton here. Just wanting to run through the study guide for tomorrow's test. So, just as a reminder here, what is today? November 9th. So, on tomorrow, you're going to be taking your summative. So, use this study guide, use that Delta Math that I posted last week, and just go through that and email me with questions. So just hopping right in, just a reminder here of basic log rules. So if I have log base b of x equals a, when we're converting back and forth between log form and exponential form, we're doing this. This is my reminder. So to this power equals that. So let's go through that. B to the a power equals x. That's basically what you're going to be using for a lot of these problems, right? So on number 1, for example, you're going to come down here, and it says if f of x equals log base x of 64, then what is f of 2? Whenever you see notation like this, just plug in for x. Whatever's in parentheses, you're going to plug in for x. So if I go down right here, it's saying log, if x is 2 of 64. Log base 2 of 64 means 2 to the what power gives me 64. So you can press math and then scroll up to log base and get your answer, or just say 2 to the what power gives me 64. So in this case, 2 to the 6 gives me 64, so x equals 6. Okay, same thing here. This one's easy. This is saying if I have 3 to the x, I plug in 5 here. So 3 to the 5th power, pretty easy. Just type it into your calculator. That gives you 243. Okay? Now, next section is going to be a lot more of the same, so you can remember. So the calculator function here is math log base for some of these. It'll allow you to do that. So on this one, this is saying 4 to the what power gives me 1024. So going into my calculator, math log base 1024. So this is 5, and your justification is 4 to the 5th power equals 1024. It can be as simple as that. You're going to be taking this on paper tomorrow, so you won't have to worry about typing it in on Delta Math. Just going through and writing in, how do I know this? How can I check this? Because just using this rule up here, that's why I said this more than anything, that's your key. Be able to convert back and forth between log and exponential form. So here, so this is saying, let's write out what this is saying. X to the what power x to the what power gives me 1. Well, obviously a variable to any power giving you 1 doesn't make any sense, except that anything to the 0 power gives me 1. So my answer is 0, so x to the 0 power gives me 1. So that's just something to remember. There will be a question like this on the test. Anything to 0 power gives me 1. Okay, this is another one. You can go in, either type this in on your calculator or just know how this works. So if I go in, type it in, log base 7 of 1 over 343, that's going to give me negative 3. That's going to give me negative 3. Because remember right here, the negative flips. That makes it the fraction. So this basically becomes 7 to what negative power gives me 343? So 7 to the 3rd power gives me 343. I know that. that 7 to the third power gives me 343. And then I just add the negative in there to flip it. So, and just once again, 7 to the negative third power equals 1 over 343. That's my justification, okay? So for the second one, let's look at what this is asking. 2 to the negative third power equals what? So 2 to the negative third power equals 1 over 2 to the 3, and 2 to the 3 gives me 8, so 1 over 8. So x equals 1/8 would be my answer here. And right here on part D, you really have to know the answer. Like, you need to know how to convert back and forth to be able to do this. And that could be your justification. 2 to the negative third power gives me 1 over 8. Then here, this is just saying 9 to the what power gives me x. So right here, to evaluate, we have to use our log rules, right? How do we get something out of the exponent here? I'm trying to get rid of that. Get it down from the exponent. So I'm going to go, switch back. I'm going to do log base 9 on both sides. So I have x equals log base 9 to the 1/3. That's saying 9. Once again, 9 to what power equals 1/3. And then you can just type it in your calculator. Math, log base 9 of 1 over 3. It's going to give me negative 1/2. Okay? And your justification, once again, just plug it in exponential form. Your exponential form, just use exponential form for your justification always. Notice, exponential form is a good way to justify your answer right here, because you can just say, when I type in 9 to the 1/2 in my calculator, I get 1/3. Okay? Now, I'm going to finish this side. So, now we move from evaluating, right, important to see what we're doing, moving from evaluating to solving with converting first. And it's going to be laid out like this on the test too. So this means convert to exponential form or log first. Right? If it's in exponential, switch it to log. If it's in log, switch it to exponential, right? So in this case, I just draw my arrows. 5 to the second power gives me this. 5 to the second power gives me x minus 3. So 25 equals x minus 3 plus 3 plus 3. X equals 28. Okay? Next one. Here, I need to get rid of the base here. I need to get the exponent down, so I need to do log base 5 on both sides. Log base 5. This cancels out, so I have 3x minus 2 equals log base 5 of 40. And right here, what I would recommend doing is just leave it written out until the end. So I'm going to write that down. Leave in log form until end. That's just going to help you with your rounding. Instead of having to round a bunch of stuff, you can just go ahead and write it all out and type it in your calculator in one step. So this is what I mean. So let me show you. So I add 2, and I have 3x equals log base 5 of 40 plus 2, and then divide both sides by 3. So I'd have x equals log base 5 of 40 plus 2 over 3. And now, in this final step right here, that's when I would type it in my calculator. So math, go up to log base 5 of 40 plus 2 divided by 3. And rounding to the tenths place, right, to 1 decimal point, I would get 1.4. So, next one here. This one's kind of a give me, right? 3 to the 2x equals 3 to the 4x minus 2, Well, how do I get these to go away? I take log base 3 on both sides. But notice, they're both 3 here. So it's just going to cancel out. So these cancel out, because log base 3 of 3 is 1. So both of these exponents come down, and then I just solve. Okay, so that's that section. When you're converting first, you need to just switch between exponential or log form. On this section, you need to use operations. So basically, get the log by itself. So that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to get the log by itself first. So in this case, it's 4 times that, so I'm going to divide by 4. So that cancels out. Log base 3 of x equals 2. And how do I solve this? With my powers, right? I'm just drawing my arrows. This helps me a lot. 3 to the 2 power of 2 equals x. So 9 equals x. The whole time here, just if you have something that you can't solve for, like you can't type in log base 3 of x into your calculator, try switching to exponential form. That'll make it a lot easier. Okay, same thing with this. First step, plus 7, log base 5 of x equals 4. Then drawing my arrows. The arrows are your best friend. 5 to the 4th power equals x. And then 5 to the 4th, type into my calculator, 625 equals x. That's it. Same thing, one more time. Boom, divide by that -3 to get it by itself. And here, I'm getting the exponent by itself first. So that cancels out. 4 to the x equals -4. So right here, you could just say, I don't know how to do this. This is weird. And just try to plug in values here, or rewrite it in exponent, like rewrite it in log form. So log base 4 of -4 equals x. Okay, log base 4 of -4 equals x. So type that in. And notice here, what's the issue, right? You can kind of see it. You can see it in this step right here, or this one. Does it make any, is there any way you're going to plug in an exponent here and end up with a negative number? No. But also, when you type this part in your calculator, let me highlight that for us really quick. So if I type this part in my calculator right here that I just highlighted, it's going to say non-real answer. It's going to give me an error. So that just means that there's no solution. Okay, so anytime you know you've done your math right and it gives you an error in your calculator, you have no solution. So then, solving with properties, remember addition becomes multiplication, so multiply. Subtraction becomes division. Okay, addition combines to multiplication. Subtraction combines to division. And here is the important thing, step by step. Make sure that there's nothing in front of the logs here. So right here, there's nothing right here, nothing right here, good. Nothing right here, nothing right here, good. But in this case, on number 11, you've got to move this to the back first. So anytime, that's what you're looking for the first step, is do I need to move something to the exponent? Okay, if not, I'm good to go. So on this one, they have the same base, so I can combine this. So I have log base 5 of x divided by 4. And notice right here, in parentheses. Like, they become division in parentheses. They're a single log. It's not this, log base 5 of x over 4. That's completely wrong. Okay, don't get confused with that. It needs to be in parentheses together. So that's what equals 1. And now, when in doubt, convert back to exponential form. So boom, boom. So 5 to the 1 power equals x over 4. So 5 equals x over 4. Multiply by 4 on both sides. I get 20 equals x. Okay? Same thing here. We have another another subtraction problem. So the first one goes on top. X over 7 equals 3. And what am I going to do? I'm going to draw my arrows. You're going to get sick and tired of seeing it, but having that tool there makes it a lot easier. So 3 to the 3rd power equals x over 7. 3 to the 3rd power equals x over 7. 9 equals x over 7 times 7 times 7, 63 equals x. Cool. Now, I have that little first step, like I said. Since I have something in front, I need to move it to the exponent first. So I have log base 2 of 4 squared plus log base 2 of x equals 3. So rewriting that, log base 2, 4 squared gives me 16 plus log base 2 x. So, like I said, log base 2 of 16 times x, which is just 16x, equals 3. So this step right here, I'm combining by multiplying what's in parentheses, 16 times x. Now, let's rewrite this. Let me zoom in just a tad. So, drawing my arrows. 2 to the 3rd power gives me 16x. 2 to the 3rd power gives me 8. Here, let me write this over here. 8 equals 16x. So to solve that, divide by 16 on both sides. If I do that with my calculator, it'll give me 0.5 or 1/2. So 0.5 or 1/2 equals x. Okay. Now, flip it over to the back.